Hey everybody, this is Star. Welcome back to Monologue Star. I'm sorry for the quality of this video. I'm having an issue with some of my system here set up. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it on my phone because I want to let you guys know, while it's fresh in my head, what went on with the Shanghai, Hong Kong auditions. So let me get right into it. When you are auditioning for Disney, you need to make sure that you fit the criteria. And what I mean by that is you fit the height requirement, the physicality of the character, whatever it may be, for this specific audition. Do not go for a singing audition if you can't sing, because they look at that. So where do you find out about these different auditions? You go to jobs.disneycareers.com and you go on there and it shows you all the different auditions in Chicago, New York, Kissimmee, wherever. And you find the audition that best suits your location and your physical character that you can play. And I'm gonna go ahead and right here is a list of the different characters dealing with height, okay? So my particular audition was for Shanghai and Hong Kong Disneyland. And my audition was in Kissimmee, Florida. This is a list of the stuff that they were looking for, okay? And it gives you a height. It's kind of vague. That's why I put up the list of the height requirements for different characters so you kind of know. I know myself, I can only go for tall characters because I'm 5'10". So I can only go for Evil Queen and Maleficent and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's good to know what you can go for. Alright, so what do you need to know before the audition? If you're doing an overseas audition, you do not need to fill out the profile on the Disney.com website, whatever. You just need to bring an 8x10 photo and a resume attached together. So like one side is your resume and the other is a photo so they could flip and see both. And they will. During the audition, they will. Let's see. You need to have movable shoes. What I mean by that is shoes that you can move in. So if you got jazz shoes, wear those. I just wore ballet flats from Payless. I can move in them and they kept me flat because they are looking for specific heights for characters and they're gonna make you take off your shoes eventually. I saw people with sneakers on, that worked too. What do you wear? They definitely want you to wear something form-fitting because they want to see your body. You don't need to be a little hooch, but something cute, form-fitting, and pretty. I wore some black leggings and I wore a shirt that was form-fitting and it says it's good to be bad. That's because that was a song that they used for the show and I knew the only characters I could go for were a villain. Do not dress in costume though, okay? That is a big no-no. You don't know what character they may see you as. There's a wide variety of princesses that need to be cast from, a certain height to a certain height. You could be any of those princesses. They could see you as any of those princesses. So study up on all the princesses. There's certain mannerisms that each of them use the same. So be that kind of character. Let's see. How should you have your hair? So I wore my hair down with like this piece kind of back because I wanted them to be able to see my facial structure, but I also wanted to wear my hair down. So I recommend either wearing your hair up and out of your face or wear it down and partially out of your face so they can see your bone structure and facial features. Makeup. Makeup should not be heavy, but it should be clean and pretty. So wear makeup that's going to still accentuate your beauty. So more natural colors, but things that will make your eyes pop and sparkle, and lipstick to make your teeth shine, and maybe a little blush and stuff like that. I'm not saying not to wear makeup. I'm totally telling you to wear makeup, but do not go heavy, crazy, okay? Study the characters you can go for. So if you are 5'6", there's probably like 6 different characters you can go for. And what they are casting for, you know, make sure you portray that particular character. Bring some water and snacks because it can be a long day. You want to keep your energy up. So the day of, get there early. I got there an hour early and I was number 10. And you want to get there early because you don't want the casting director to see a certain girl that is very similar to you in the way she moves and looks, and could totally be Cinderella too, to see the judges first, or casting directors first, because they're going to choose her and then they're going to come across you and then be like, oh, well, number 90, well, we chose her basically at 12 because they both suit that character. So, and I only need one. So that's why you want to get there early. You want to be the first fresh character face that they see and win them over. Okay. So registration begins and you go and you sign in and you give the gentleman your picture and your resume. They put your number on the resume and and then they put your number on the signing sheet. And from there, they give you a number, that number. And you want to make sure you put it in a good spot that they can see while you're in the different rounds. Okay? So from that point, then you wait until the main casting directors from Shanghai and Hong Kong come in. Once they do, and that they're there, you will learn choreography, or movement they call it. There's this fabulous guy who like teaches you these cool steps that if you are a dancer, you will pick up. Excuse me, no problem. If you are like me, who like can move all right, but I wouldn't call myself a dancer, it could be a little difficult because it was a little long for me to remember. It was certain things that my feet were not used to doing. But they did say that there are characters that don't dance and that they are looking for you to tell a story. So I was like, yes, okay, I can act, so let me do that. So yeah, you learn the combination, and then from there, they, they have you go up by 5. So the casting directors will be in front of you, and then 5 of you will go up and do the movement number. And then after the movement number, they go ahead and place you in front of them, and they look you over kind of uncomfortably for a few minutes. And then they say thank you. And then there's like 3 different piles on the desk. Like you could tell like one were no's, and then yeses, and maybe like maybes, I don't know. So then they go through all that. There's approximately just under 200 people there. So from that point, after everybody went, they did cuts. They cut it down to 20. So there was about 10 guys and 10 girls. And from there, you did the dance again. But first, they videotaped you saying your name, and then they videotaped you in 5 doing the dance. After that, they had you go in front of the casting directors again, and they talked to you. They asked you, do you have any tattoos? And do you have any character experience? So then you just explain that to them. And from there, they handed out sides to certain people. I'll get more into that. So they were casting different things, and they didn't specify what exactly they were casting, but I could tell there was another tall girl, and I know if you're 5'10" or taller, or 5'9", a villain, that's all you got. And so they may have been casting for a Halloween show. And there was other girls that were probably like in Elsa range, which I probably like 5'7", 5'8", that they had read sides, and it was sides for like a hostess for the Halloween show. And I was watching because I'm like, why didn't I get a side? But then I saw that the other tall girl didn't either, and I had read one of the girls' sides, and I was like, oh, okay, I get that, because I would be a villain in the show, not the one hosting it. So don't worry about that. They're looking for very specific things. So if you don't get cast, more than likely it's because your character that you could play didn't need to be cast. So from that point, they measure you. They take out their little height thing and they make sure that you fit in the height range. So I know, like, I measured at 5'10.2" or something like that. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I hope I'm still good. And then I heard the casting director say, okay, that's good. And then she handed me papers. And the papers just had, you know, your information on it, and it said like Hong Kong Disney auditions, and, you know, asked you questions, a lot to do, you know, you're going to be available from this point for basically the next 6 months, because the next 6 months they could call you. And you fill that out, and while we were filling the paperwork out, they went over the different contracts that they would be giving out. So there are 3 different contracts: 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. The 3 months would be in my realm, because I am just seasonal. I would just be Halloween. So I would be out in Hong Kong from August to November, I think she said, like very beginning of November, doing a Halloween show. And then there's other ones that would have a 6-month contract, and that'd probably be like more like a versatile character, maybe men. And then 12 months would probably definitely be like princesses that they use all year long. I'm not sure, they didn't give specifics on that, but they did say that they were casting for the Halloween show first, and that we would know June, like the second week in June, if we were chosen or not to go to Hong Kong. So they still audition in different places. After Orlando, I think they went to New York, and then they went to Chicago and Hawaii. So there was a girl there that had auditioned for Shanghai, Hong Kong before, and she was telling me that she's been pulled like 5 times and has never been used. So it's wonderful to be chosen and for them to think that you could be wonderful for the character, but that doesn't always mean that they're going to use you. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see if they end up using me or not. But it was a really cool experience. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you too, because when I was turning in my paper, the lady was like, do you have your passport? You know, she was about to write yes, because I think she was like, you know, anyone going for an overseas audition should have their passport. She's like, do you have your passport? And she was about to write yes, and I'm like, oh, no. And I'm like thinking in my head, oh, I should have just told her yes, but, you know, it takes 6 weeks to get a passport sometimes. So I'm like, that would have been great. Tell her yes, and then she hires me and is like, can I get a copy of your passport, like right now? And then I didn't have it. So it was better that I told the truth. But I do recommend get your passport before you audition for overseas auditions. It's probably a good idea. So yeah, she had just written on the paper, does not have passport, but working on it. Because I told her, I'm like, I will go get it tomorrow, I promised. And I did. I literally went to the government building and got it. So that is it about the auditions. Hopefully I covered everything. But this way you can be better prepared if you decide to audition for anything overseas with Disney. And this particular one was character lookalikes to perform in shows and parades and stuff like that. So if you're a good actor and look like characters, this is a perfect audition for you. You didn't need any singing or anything like that. But you did need to be a decent character performer, actor for it. So just make sure you look at the auditions and the criteria and make sure you can fit it. Okay, so that's it for this episode. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, please leave it in the comments below. Until next time, you guys, have a great day.